background. I don't really do a lot of things like this where it's a little more laid back, a little more relaxed, and that noise. Thank you, Twitch playing in the background. Why do I? Oh, I had you open for reasons. Yeah. Anyways, I don't do a lot of things like this. I usually play video games for one, and two, I don't really sit down here and chat a whole lot. I'm sorry I don't have any smooth jazz out of the background. I didn't really have time to like plan this out too much. I just kind of got up. Ooh, voice crack. You can tell it's the morning. Kind of just got up and was making myself a cup of coffee. I gotta go fill out some work shit in about an hour or so, even though it's my day off, unfortunately. It's that time of the day where everybody's getting ready to go work their asses off, because most of us do. And, I don't know, I figured I would try to sit down and chat with you guys and just kind of speak my mind a little bit. It's my day off, and I still gotta do a whole bunch of shit today. This is the way life works, I guess. Trying to kick us all in the ass, but I figured I'd sit down and, have a cup of coffee like I do every morning and sit down, and if you guys want to come chat, you can come chat, and I'll just sit here and ramble along until, I can, well, don't really know what I'm trying to do here, but I'm just gonna sit here and ramble, because I seem to be pretty good at it. I don't know why, but if you like coffee, come have a cup of coffee with me. If you drink tea, you can drink your tea too. I'm not judgmental up in here. I don't give a shit if you drink tea, coffee, water in the morning, juice. If you eat breakfast, if you don't eat breakfast, like I personally usually don't eat breakfast. I don't give a shit if it's the most important meal of the day. I don't eat breakfast usually. It's kind of something I skip. I have forever now. I have a bad habit of skipping meals, but I just kind of eat when I'm hungry and hope for the best, But nah, I was just like I said, I have to go fill out some work shit. I've never been hired through a employment. What would you say? I call it an employment bureau, but that's not what they call it. It's an employment agency or office or whatever. I don't know. I filled out a bunch of applications because I'm pretty sick of my retail job at the moment. It's not the worst job in the world, and I mean part of it is I really do just need full time work, but last week or two has really just been kind of the icing on the shit cake there. It just a bunch of shit going on at work that I'm not really gonna get into, but I don't know, it happens. But work's kind of kicking me in the ass, so I've been looking for full time work anyways, and part time. I'm not really enjoying my part time job too much, or as much as I should be, or not as much as I was when I started. Yeah, all of the above, but no, I've never been hired through like an employment agency before. I filled out an application for a job for electronics manufacturing. Just kind of like, you know, throwing in my resume because it was like a quick fill out thing. And I get a call from, a number, and I didn't pick up at first because I didn't have a chance to. I was at work. And I got another call from when I wasn't at work. But the first call, every time I get a call like that and I miss it, if they don't really leave a message, which I think they did leave a message, but I don't think I got it in my inbox. Um, but I got like a call, and so every time I get a call, I trace it back. That's typically what I do. I go back and I look it up to see if it pops up with any businesses or anything, because that's usually a pretty good sign of like, whether or not they're reputable. And that's only if I miss the call. Usually I do pick up, unless you're just like from a California area code or some shit, then I don't really fuck with that. Like if your phone number's from an area code I've never lived in, which I've lived a lot of places, so luck of the draw, or if it's like a 913 number that I don't know because that's the area code I'm from, so I always get like solicitor calls from there. I typically don't pick it up. But if it's like a call from an area code I've been to before, then I typically pick up. But no, so I get this call and I traced it back and I was like, employment agency, okay, whatever. It's a little bit odd. I didn't, sign up for that kind of shit, and I'm hoping it's not a waste of time, to be honest. I'm a little bit afraid it is going to be. It's going to be kind of one of those kind of scammy, not scammy things. But anyways, I got the call and I went to go. Like I answered up the second time or whatever. I answered their call because they called me again. I didn't really have a chance to call them back because they called me like right when I got off work. So I answered, and they were like, "Oh, you know, you called for this job," and I was like, "Oh yeah," and they were like, "We need you to come in, um, Tuesday at 10 o'clock," and I was like, "Oh, okay, well, I'll come in at Tuesday 10 or whatever," um, and I just that's kind of weird to me because it's like they're like, "You got to come fill out an application." I'm just kind of okay. Well, I mean, I sent in my resume, which I understand if I felt like an official application, but it just seems weird. I've never been like to an employment agency. I've never been hired through one. I've never tried to go through an employment agency for anything, so it's a bit offsetting to me. I've always just went to the place that's hiring me, and I know a lot of companies like this use them. It just seems a little bit weird to me. It seems like an extra step in the process that it just it seems like an extra step, and at the same time, it seems a little bit sketchy to me. I guess it seems sketchy because to me, it's like it almost it gives off that scammy vibe to me. It's like if their job is to give you a job, it's almost like an insurance company. Like everybody has to go get insurance, and you always have to shop for insurance. But like unless you go like to them specifically, if an insurance company is calling you, even if you've applied for insurance stuff, it just seems kind of like offsetting. Like they're trying to sell you something, and that's kind of the vibe I get out of this. I hope it's not a waste of time, and I hope to God I get the job because I'm so sick of my old job, and I really need the full time work. Because unfortunately I cannot make this my job yet. I do not have the proper credentials and followings and people to love me yet, but you know, it is what it is. But that's just the way it works. And I've got to go take a piss. I will be back in just a moment. All right, now that we got that handled. But yeah, I mean, I'm trying to get a better job, trying to, you know, get set on a better path in life, I guess. To say, moving up in the world as they would say it. But yeah, it's I don't know. I don't know what to think about it. I hope it goes well. I hope I'm not like again. I hope I'm not wasting my time. I got better shit to be doing, to be honest, today. Um, than to waste my time filling an application that's not going to go anywhere. I have a bad feeling that's what's going to happen. Wish me luck. I guess this is kind of like the good luck send off. But yeah, um, I don't know. I figured I would make this and share my thoughts and opinions and coffee with everybody. I wish I could share my coffee. I can't. Actually, I probably wouldn't share it anyways unless you're like a real homie. But I do like my coffee, and I like it black. I like it black as my soul. But nah. As far as like I don't know what to think about it. I also gotta go. Well, I was gonna go do this, but I don't think I'm gonna go do it yet. I mean, we've got some C clamps in there somewhere. I'll get to that in a minute. I'm trying to fix my desk over here, which is why, you know, you see all of this shit over here. As you can see, I have a glass desk, or I think you can see that, but um, I have like wooden storage compartments on the back of it, and so I'm mounting these monitor mounts on the lids of them, but the hinges are kind of suck, and it's not really the hinges suck, it's the MDF, because every furniture manufacturer decides to make everything with MDF these days, and it's shit. It's fucking awful. I hate it. I hate MDF so much. The only thing it's good for is making a speaker cabinet. Ugh, that coffee's coming back a little bit. I'm not gonna like throwing up. I'm just kind of like burping a little bit, but don't worry, I won't puke in front of you. No, so like it's made out of MDF. So when I went to go put this on there, I didn't really think about it. I had to drill a hole and like mount it and everything because you can't mount it. Obviously, can't mount it to glass. And you have to mount it on a wood surface, which is kind of great that I have a desk that's both glass, so I get the benefits of glass, and I have a little bit of wood back here to mount those. But it's not like solid wood. Obviously, it's a lid for like the storage. So I mounted it on there. I didn't really think about it, but when you pull down on those arms, it flexes and it starts pulling up on those hinges. Well, if anybody's ever used MDF, um, like or had to build anything with it, or especially this cheap shit, you'll know that it is terrible. It just flakes apart, rips apart, whatever. Especially on this cheap ass. It's not really even a cheap ass desk. It's furniture, okay? And they always use the cheapest shit known to man. Um, so I went to go like pull the arm down. It takes a little bit of force to pull that down. Not a ton though. I got it adjusted where it really doesn't take that much. But first thing I did is the hinges never screwed in right anyways. The hinges were like kind of bent and they didn't line up right originally. So the screw holes are kind of off, and one of the hinges didn't screw in like hardly at all. I screwed it enough, but not a lot. But I never use these anyways. I never use these storage compartments because shit sits on top of them. It's kind of wasted desk space if you don't use them for something. My monitor sits on top of this one, and that one, I don't think anything specific sat on top of it, but I just never used it. So, here, let me see if I can kind of show you like what I'm talking about here. See the lid? That's a lid. That's like a storage compartment. But I'm gonna try to get that back into like decent position. Sorry for all the shit in my room. I just kind of in like a moving crisis slash reconstruction era with that shit. But so the lids they flex when I would like pull the arm down, and immediately I heard one of the hinges just like it started cracking and shit, it started popping, all that. It started like making noise that was not good. It's not optimal, and I was like shit. I was like I'm gonna have to go like reinforce that hinge. So whatever. I took the lid off. I'd originally drilled a hole in this one to mount a dual arm, but I drilled it too far forward for like sitting. And so I was sitting here and I was going to drill another hole in it, and I was just going to plug that one. And I was like, okay, well, and I started looking over here and I knew I was getting this, which is like, I don't know if you can see that, but it's got like a keyboard tray. It's like a little like mobile command center is what I would call it. But, yeah, so that one, since I'm standing, you need to be further away. And so that hole actually lined up perfect. So I was swapping out the lids anyways. And so as I was doing that, I was like, okay, I'm going to reinforce these hinges. I'm going to, glue them down with some like builder's adhesive rather than, you know, just putting the shitty screws back into the MDF. And so I screwed back in the screws as best as I could because it's a piece of shit, and I glued them down with builder's adhesive and super glued them down and whatever, and I tried to reinforce the hinges to all hell, and to the lid anyways. And then when I came to come screw it into the actual desk, I put a little bit of Gorilla Glue in like each screw hole, and to make sure it would stay in, because I knew those holes were kind of worn out as well. So everything was good, and I was like, okay, that should force it, good enough. The hinges aren't going to pop off, and it should be fine. I went to go pull that down, and immediately I heard creaking again, and I'm just, like, looking at these hinges, and I'm like, they're not going to hold. Like, these hinges, they're screwed. So I tried to screw it down in there. Well, MDF and screws don't go very well together. So I screwed it down in there with, like, 3 big-ass, like, wood screws. To the point of, like, where it's kind of, like, because it's cheap shit, when I would screw it down into the lid would kind of bow out like that a little bit. And I was like, okay, I can't screw it any tighter than that. It's not going to do me any good. So I put 3 screws in it. I was like, that should hold. That should hold. I screwed it from, like, from the lid on the back of it, like, down into the panel that's under it. And I was like, that should hold it. And I go to pull down on it, and I hear them creaking. And I'm like, okay, that's probably normal, though, at first. And I pull down again on it, and I just kind of like, okay. I was like, I don't know if I trust that, though. So I wiggled it around a little bit. Boom, like all 3 of them damn screws came up out of the bottom of that MDF. So I am probably going to fucking liquid nails this bitch down so it actually stays, because the problem is like these lids are attached by hinges. Well, when I pull down on my microarm, it flexes up, and it's gonna pull those damn hinges right out. And I would much rather liquid nails like a lid to this desk that I can probably rip off and build another one for if I ever have to, for $10, than risk those hinges actually doing their job. And one day when I pull my monitor down, they fucking collapse, and my, $160 monitor, or however much monitor, I'm putting a $200 one over here, and this one's going on there, and that one's over there. You get the point. I'd rather spend $10 to make a new lid if I ever have to, for whatever reason, on this desk, even though I don't use these storage things anyways. And then have my monitor go tumbling in the floor while I'm trying to work, and whatever else is over there. So that's why all the shit is in this region. I may go get those C-clamps. I have the time to go do it. But I need to run to Home Depot for that. What time is it? It's early for everybody else. It's not terribly early for me here on the East Coast. Yeah, it's just now like 9:04, so it's not too bad. I may leave this at like a 20-minute video. Whenever I finish my coffee, that's when I'll be done. But I wish I had more viewers. I could talk to you guys. I'm good at rambling. I am good at that, but I can't speak to you if you're not here with me. And I would ask you how you like your coffee, and you'd say, "Oh, I like the Starbucks $18 cup of Joe with 17 ounces of caramel and 4 cans of whipped cream in it." And I'd be like, "Oh, well, you're a little bitch because you don't drink black coffee." No, I'm just kidding. Anybody who drinks coffee is a friend of mine. But however, I do drink mine black because I don't really see. Well, I've always drank it black, but I don't really see coffee as like I gotta have a $7 cup of coffee. It's gonna taste so good. Like, I see coffee as like fuel to get up in the morning. As you can see, I probably don't need any, but yeah, I see coffee as a way to get my ass out of bed. Like, not as a treat for myself that yeah. I don't understand those people that drink like 3 iced coffees a day either. Like, and then they're like if they're all like, if you think I'm gonna change my caffeine habits, they're always the people that complain about getting sleep too. And their doctor, like, the first thing they'll tell them is like, how much coffee you drink a day? They'll be like 3 iced coffees. They'll be like, if you think I'm gonna change my coffee, I'm just not gonna do it. I just won't sleep. And I'm like, then why are you going to bitch into your doctor, like, asking him how to fix this? I saw it the other day. Like, somebody was talking on their, I think it was their fucking Snapchat. I was just, let me take a drink of coffee, because this is gonna take me a minute to explain. A person the other day, I was on the social medias, right? And they said they went to the doctor for their insomnia because they said they had insomnia. Well, okay, that's reasonable, people do have insomnia. It's a thing. It's actually somewhat common. It's not like, super common, but it's pretty common for someone to have insomnia. And it was like, I went to the doctor for my insomnia, and she's like, the doctor didn't even fucking prescribe me. Like, she was going off. She was like pissed. She was like Tilla the Hun about to murder a village pissed, and she was going off on everybody, and on the social medias, talking about how she went to the doctor, and she was like, this bitch just goes. She's like, it's none of her business. She just goes and starts asking me about my life habits, and she's like, she doesn't know me, and all this other shit. And she was like, she asked me, how much coffee I drink a day, and how many coffees I get, and she's like, if I turn my electronics off before bed, and this, that, and the other, and like all these questions. She's like, and she didn't even fucking prescribe me anything. She's like, bitch, I have insomnia. I came to you so you can prescribe me something to help with that. Not get your ass up in my life and, get up all in my business and this, that, and the other. She's like, I drink 3 coffees a day, which already sounds like pretentious as fuck. I'm sorry. If that's like your opening like statement of that, like if that's how you're defending yourself against sleeping, it doesn't sound good. It's kind of like an alcoholic saying, I have, a bottle of whiskey a day. I don't know why, I got fired from work. And, I wasn't that hungover. Like, I'm just saying. So she was like, if you think I'm gonna stop having 3 coffees a day or getting off my electronics before bed, she's like, I'm just not gonna sleep. I'm just gonna deal with it. I'm gonna go to somebody else. She's like, this bitch just gets off and interferes with my life. And I'm just, in my mind, I'm like, I get it. If you actually have insomnia, it's understandable, but I understand where the doctor's coming from. I have extensive experience on the other end of the medical field, not the end of like teaching it, but being as like a patient, and I can tell you that one of the things that I know is especially with the culture these days is that it's very easy for doctors just to administer something to get rid of the problem, and that's not what it's for. The medicine is for people who genuinely need it, and it's for reasons that you know it's more medicine is more like typically to help you get through something, unless it's like a permanent prescription. That's understandable as well, but um I also think people misunderstand the definition of insomnia. Like, she's going off about how she can't sleep. Well, the first thing your doctor has to determine is if you have insomnia. You don't like run a blood test like, yep, you got that insomnia chromosome in there. We gotta get you the meds. Like, no, to determine whether or not you have insomnia, they're probably gonna ask you to take um sort of a log of your sleeping schedule habits, and they're going to ask you to change your personal habits to see if that's what it is. Because if you're drinking 3 fucking coffees a day, um, and you're not sleeping, again, that's like drinking a bottle of whiskey a day and wondering why you're hungover all the time. It's stupid. But, anyways, it's like if you drink three things of coffee a day, that's the first thing they're gonna say. They're gonna be like, change that. And if you still have a problem, come back to me. If you change these habits, come back. If you still have a problem, and then I will give you some medicine. But it's too often that doctors administer medicine these days, or they can, to fix shit that is not needing to be fixed by that. And it's part of like the culture we live in as well. It's that whole thing, the whole sense of where people feel as if they can just get a pill to fix their problem, and it's kind of shitty. Like, I understand if you need medicine for something, like, I get it. I've had medicine for all kinds of reasons. But it's too often that people are like, well, I have this problem, I just need a pill to fix it. Like, no, that should be one of the last resorts you go to. You should only do that really when you've tried everything else, in my opinion. Like, the medicine is the reason, like, the only reason you go to medicine is because nothing else will solve this problem. And another thing is, if you're not willing to work with your doctor at all, like, that's fine. I've been that way too. I get it. I get it. If you don't want to change your life habits, it's understandable. But, like, don't bitch about having insomnia then. Or insomnia. Because, like, if you're not willing to work with your doctor to solve the problem that you're having, you came to them. They didn't come to you and ask you if you had insomnia. You came to them and said, I think I have insomnia. What do you need me to do to, like, fix it? And they ask you your life habits, and they ask you to fix them. If you don't want to follow those orders, fine. You don't have to. The doctor's still getting paid, and you're still going to have that fucking problem at the end of the day. So unless you're willing to, help that doctor out, help them do their job correctly, because they can get their ass in trouble for the medicine thing, you gotta help the doctor out so they can help you out. That's how this world should work more often. I I'm very much a believer in this sort of. I know everybody's like, an eye for an eye makes the whole world blind, but it's not really. I'm all for an eye for an eye. I'm very much that kind of person, but I'm more for of. You gotta help other people for them to help you out. You gotta help out your fellow man. I think people should do that more often, and I don't even think you should expect anything out of it. I just think, people should. I hate how today people seem to I don't know, there's this mentality where it's like every time somebody goes to help somebody else these days, they expect something out of it automatically. Like, I wish people just helped people just for the sake of helping them more. Like, I just wish that was more common. And I'm not saying it's dead. I see it all the time. But it just, especially in my generation, which I don't hate everybody in my generation. I don't even hate my generation. It's just there's a lot of things I dislike about where society is going from, like, starting kind of with my generation down. And I'm not even saying that it's starting with my generation. It's starting above my generation. It's just something I see in the age groups around me, things that I see. It's like, it's almost, there's two things. It's one that people just don't help each other out without expecting anything in return, or just for the sake of doing it. And then they use it, even if they don't say they expect anything, then they use it as like a weapon later. They're like, well, I helped you do this, and so you're not gonna help me out, like that sort of shit. You know what I'm saying? It's that kind of mentality. I wish people helped people more just for the sake of, like, being a decent human fucking being. Like, and I could get into that for hours and hours about that. But another thing is I forgot what I was gonna say. I legit just blanked out. What was I getting to? Oh man, that sucks. I was on a roll. But no. So I mean, I do wish people helped each other more and just didn't expect anything out of it. I don't remember the second point I was gonna make there. It was in my head, and then and then I can't seem to um, come up with it. And yeah, I don't know. I guess something else that the second point I was gonna make. I hate how people have this mentality now that, like, they almost approach things with I don't know how you'd put it, like almost a sour taste in their mouth to begin with. Like, people approach people, they don't even approach them like friendly anymore. A lot of people approach neutral, like, and I do. Like, I tend to stay on the neutral side. I try to be friendly, I try to be upfront and nice about everything. But even though, like, your opinion of that person is neutral, you're polite, you're decent, and that's something that's kind of dying, I guess. I don't know why. It's like people will approach you and, like, you're considered an enemy or like an asshole or like nothing in their eyes. You're dirt to them until, like, you prove yourself to them. Like, I hate that mentality. Like, you're not shit to them until, like, they think you're shit. Like, I hate that mentality these days. Like, I'm one of those people that, I get it. I have friends, I have enemies, I have people that I'm best friends with, and I have people that, I don't get along with, I don't like to associate with. It is what it is. We all have those people, but I hate the mentality that people approach with, where it's like, I'm one of those people that when I approach somebody, every person in my eyes, I don't care who you are. If I don't know you, every person has a certain level of respect from me. And, whether or not, I mean, even on my, as my enemies, like, even people I don't like, I have somewhat of a respect for, but it's kind of how you present yourself to me as I get to know you. That respect can kind of diminish or build, and typically it does build. Most people are pretty decent, but I hate that mentality that people have where it's not like that. I don't agree with that kind of mentality where if, like, people don't treat everybody with a certain basic level of decency and respect. I don't like that. When I meet somebody new, like, I treat them politely, and I treat them how I would treat anybody I meet. And if they're an asshole to me, I'm probably going to respond negatively to that. If they're nice to me, I'll probably respond positively to that. It's sort of, I'm going into it with sort of a polite and nice attitude to try to, spread that around, I guess. I don't go into everything with negative, but, I meet people all the time that, like, if you don't know them, you're dirt to them. Like, you ain't shit. Like, it gets me. I hate that about my generation. And it is my, like, it's not even my generation. It's around my generation. I won't say it's, like, just mine, but it's something that I've seen that's, like, growing, and I hate that. Like, you're just, like, not a goddamn thing to them unless, for whatever reason, they think you're something. And I hate that. I hate it, man. I think everybody should be treated with, a certain base level of decency and respect, and that, you should, even if they're a stranger, they should get respect from you, because, I mean, they didn't do anything to, like, ruin that. Give everybody a chance to sort of present themselves to you, like, not dirty way, but you know what I'm saying. Like, give everybody a chance to I guess I would say prove themselves to you, but that kind of negates what I just said, because yeah. But you know what I'm saying. Give everybody a chance to give you a good impression, I guess. And then be the judge for yourself. And I don't understand the whole, the people that have enemies, and you know, I get it. If you work with them or something, and you're forced to associate with them, I understand if you hate these people, and you know, you go on and on about it. But people I don't understand, and not trying to call my siblings out, but my oldest sister, I used to tell her this, you know, um, you know, you run into people you hate in high school or something, you know, and you're always just like, I hate that bitch, and it was always like people she was friends with at first, and then they turned into like a backstabbing, you know, whatever. I guess you call it backstabbing whore, but you know, whatever the case may be, it's much more thing among girls, not like profiling or anything, but guys don't do that nearly as much. I've just noticed that throughout high school. When I was in high school, girls tend to stab each other in the back a lot more, and as far as friend groups go, than guys do. Guys are kind of like homies for life, and if we have a problem, we beat the shit out of each other in the parking lot, and we're homies for life again. But yeah, it is. So, like, I never understood it, because she would always be like, I hate this bitch, and like, you know, and she was like, she said this to me, and we had this, and she was doing this and this, and I was just kind of like, why do you associate with them then? I was like, if I don't like somebody, there's plenty of people I didn't like in high school. I just didn't talk to them. I didn't associate with them. I didn't talk about them. I didn't, you know, trash talk them, because again, everybody has a certain level of respect for me. I may like talk shit about him to my friend and be like, yo, they did this, but it's not gonna be like trying to spread rumors, I guess. Like, I'll explain the situation and my opinion about it, about something that happened, but I'm not gonna go around and like, you know, talk shit about someone just to talk shit. I'll voice my opinion and kind of move on with it. And I never got that. I don't know why people choose to associate with people they hate. It's like, you can choose not to in most cases. Even if you have to, you know, associate with them at a certain level, you can choose whether or not to associate with them or not. I don't understand. And even at that, and when it's in the workplace, I hate plenty of people. And it was just kind of like, I always tried to keep a certain level of like professionalism. Like, I don't have to like you to work with you. You know, I get my job done, you get your job done. As long as, you know, we keep it, you know, basic professional, we're not gonna have any problems. You know, I'm not one to cause problems. I'm not just gonna be like, you're a dumbass bitch, like rolling up on you. But you know, I never got that. Like, I don't understand why people choose to associate with people they dislike. I'm like, if you don't like them, then don't be around them if you have the choice. And most of the time you do. And if you have to be around them, don't start shit with them. And if they start shit with you, just, like, they can't start shit with you if you don't, like, throw it back at them. You know what I'm saying? It takes two to tango. And I mean, yeah, they can spread rumors and they can be an asshole about it. But chances are, if you don't respond to the shit when they start it, that's never going to happen. I mean, I guess that's my point. If you don't get the snowball rolling to start with, it's not going to turn into a shitstorm. Because, and that's a great analogy there, but it's kind of a good point, though. If you don't like each other, then just leave it at that. Don't let it get to the point where it's like you're trying to, you know, stab each other in the fucking back and undermine each other. And I get it. Sometimes it's unavoidable. And shit happens. And people are assholes. I get it. But it's just, I never understood that. My sister was like that every year. It was like somebody new. And I was like, why do you associate with these people? And she was like, well, you know, that's just the way things are. And I'm like, no, I have plenty of people I hate every year in high school. And I don't fuck with them. I hate them, and I don't fuck with them. Like, I don't talk to them. I don't speak to them. But, what time is it? I did check the time. Yeah, it's 9:22. But I guess I will leave my words of wisdom there. My cup of coffee is almost gone, and it's kind of cold right now. So it's not cold. It's like lukewarm. But I will leave you guys on that note. If you stop by, I very much appreciate you. Even if you didn't leave a message, in the future you can leave as many messages as you want. I promise I'll respond to them in sessions like this. Maybe something I do every once in a while. It's just kind of something on the. It's something that just kind of popped into my mind. I was like, oh, I'll do it. I'll ramble. I'll talk to some people for a while. But, yeah, I don't know. I may do some more stuff like this in the future. But, anyways, I will see any of you lovely people later. I was about to do my YouTube outro, but I'm not going to do that for this. But if you stop by, again, I very much appreciate it. It warms my heart for you to stop by like the eternal fire. And if you're a coffee drinker, if you're a tea drinker, if you like breakfast, don't like breakfast, or if you don't like any of it, I'm not here to be one to judge. And I will leave you with all of those wonderful words of wisdom.